Alrighty, so today we watched the live stream for the new Gowther that came out. Obviously, you can see him right here. He's actually looking pretty interesting. I know that the first and foremost thing is like that this is a terrible time for a festival. I said that several times throughout the stream. I thought that it was very, very odd that they were coming out with this new spring festival in the middle of nowhere, where we normally need to start saving gems for the global or the JP anniversary. That's normally at the end of May, early June, and now for whatever reason they're putting a surprise festival in this time slot for no reason. Typically there is some sort of collab in between both of the festivals that we typically get. So here is the new Gowther. I think that he looks very interesting. That guy's awesome. We can look at some of his stats and everything right here. You can see that he is a red base UR character. They have him True Awakened already at 77,000 CC. He does have a buff card, he does have an attack card, and then his ultimate is kind of attacky as well. He does deal a lot with rank ups and everything, which is interesting. I mean, obviously, Gowther has always kind of been known for ranking up and everything. I will go over some of the skill translations and everything as well. I think that he's looking good. He's not looking over the top crazy, which is a good thing, because a lot of people are going to have to either feel forced to skip this or, you know, just don't have the gems for it or whatever the case may be. So it's not necessarily such a bad thing that he's not like over the top fantastic. His costumes, we'll look at those really quickly. He has this sort of like Magus outfit, which I think looks really cool. It's got this really like neat sort of like galaxy look behind the cape, which I think is awesome. He has a sort of like punk rock sort of look, which I will never ever use. And then the other one is this sort of like Japanese-ish style outfit where you can see he has like the samurai looking like arm pauldron and the glove and everything on. So it looks pretty cool. His hats and everything are fine. I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can kind of sort of see he has like the top knot and everything on that one. His weapons are actually kind of neat. He has the cat one as well, but his weapons are actually kind of cool. This weapon right here, I think, is super cool looking. It's basically just like a little swirl around his hand. The bows look really big in his hand, but other than that, the character looks pretty good. So the skills and everything for the character, let's get into the translations, because I'm sure you guys want to know what he does. They did show off some PvP. We'll look at that in just a moment. But for translations, let me pull up Discord really quickly. Here is what I'm looking at, courtesy of Kane over in the 7DS Leaks Discord. So he is traveling to seek peace, wandering knight Gowther. His passive is an adventure to find true self. For every 7 deadly sins trait ally present in the battlefield, increase 7 deadly trait allies base stats by 5%. So a 15% basic stat boost, pretty typical for most characters nowadays. Basic stat boosts are really good. Just because, you know, more stats equals good unit. When the unit uses a buff card, which he does have a buff card, and is a rank up on level 1, apply rank reinforcement, which is, if an ally uses a skill, depending on the card's rank, apply extra effects. So kind of like Zahard was like do more damage per skill, like rank or whatever. His is, if you use a level 1 card, it has 30% pierce increase. At rank 2, ignores crit resistance by 10% and plus 30% pierce. And then at level 3, ignores crit resistance by 10% and ignore critical defense by 20%. So it should help your crits hit harder. That's pretty interesting. I'm kind of okay with that. It's not like over the top broken, busted or anything, but you know, these extra little stat increases could be kind of nice to make cards hit harder. You know, on top of what they already do. So apply rank reinforcement for 2 turns for every debuff removed. Because this his card does cleanse, his buff card right here, removes all debuff effects from allies. This is at rank 3. Ranks up allies' skills and increases basic stats by 20%, so that's the rank 3 part. But when using a buff card, for every debuff removed, increases allies' HP by 2%, max of 20%. Also, at the start of the ally's turn, if 3 different race allies use a skill card, ranks up the unit's cards. Allies with double race will be counted as 2 races. So if you're running, because he's a Sins team character, you're going to be running like Meliodas, Bon, Gowther in the front line. That's what they used in the PvP matchup. You'll use 1 skill from each character. It'll rank up Gowther's skills. So that's kind of interesting. You could maybe use his attack skill into 2 other attack skills, or you can rank up into, you know, 2 different attacks for the other characters, and then you'll rank up his attack card, or you can use his attack card to rank up his buff card. You know what I mean? So he's got a little bit of interesting play there, a little bit of give. His single target card is a Pierce single target, and it reduces ultimate move gauge by 3 on level 3. I'm not sure if it's, you know, a 1 at level 1 or whatever the case, but for the level 3 card right now, which I don't know in the PvP if they even used it. I wasn't paying the most attention because we were trying to read the translations and everything, but I'll show a little bit of the PvP in a second. And then the, like we said a second ago, the buff card is removes debuffs, ranks up an ally's skill at level 1, and then all allies' skills at level 3, and then increases basic stats by 20% at level 3. I don't think it's a stat boost on lower ranks, just like with the old rank up, but now it cleanses, so kind of good. Kind of interesting. The ultimate, on the other hand, is Celestial Rain. Apply Protection of Peace, which is increase basic stats by 30% if removed, ranks up the unit's cards. So the basic stat increase, if we look at the... where am I? If we look at the skill translations and everything, there was the banner. We'll look at that in a minute. It only increases basic stats by 5% at level 1, which is interesting. And you can see here, Kane actually doesn't have any sort of like translations on this part, but there's a low end of 10%, a high end of 40% here. I'm not sure what exactly that is because there's no 40% listed in his translation here, so I'm not particularly sure what that part of the passive is. If you know what this is, feel free to comment down below, but that is the character's skills. I think that he's looking good but not broken, which I think is overall a pretty good thing in general, because, you know, like I said, a lot of people are going to have to skip this thing. If you're a Sin's main, you probably will want to summon because he is a Sin character and he works on the Sin's team. He's not necessarily going to be used for unknowns, but I guess we'll see kind of what the JP content creators and stuff like that come up with whenever he comes out on JPKR tomorrow. The banner is pretty good. It's okay. It's a seasonal banner. He is technically like a seasonal Fest character, I guess you could say, but he is a UR Red character, of course. I think the only real winners as far as festival characters here is that this is the first banner that Hell is coming back on. Mael has not been on that many banners, so he is returning as well. And then you have a bunch of old characters like Red Deanne, Blue the One Escanor, Lolly Merlin, and then you have Margaret. Margaret is a little bit of an exception because she has an LR. LR Escanor is in here, LR Liz is in here, so that is kind of good because there's Liz is a seasonal character. Lots of seasonal characters scattered throughout the banner. So you have Summer Deanne, you know, Halloween Gowther. Jelly King is on here, which is kind of nice. You do have Tyr Freyr and then the Summer Freya. I would much rather have the red Freya, but I guess because this is a seasonal banner, the green one is on here. You have the Demon Backliners, which is fine. You've got Tristan if you need him. Some of the Graces as well, which is cool. They do have the power-up tickets. They did make it to where the UR... You can pull the UR character on the guaranteed 300 and 600 now, so that is a plus. It is a win, but you know, obviously this, you know, who knows if you're going to be summoning for this banner. UR characters are expensive in general. It's just kind of a weird banner and like update in general. The other notable things is that we are getting Ratatoskr, the demonic beast. They did show a little bit of gameplay for him. He has like these little totems and everything. I can show a little bit of that on the live stream. I think it's like back here somewhere. We can look at a little bit of the gameplay for that. You can see that he's on the left here. He started in the middle. He has like these little totems and everything, and during the gameplay, they're sort of like attacking and everything. The team setup that they're using, they have Ragnarok Merlin on here and Jelly King for whatever reason, so they're trying to use like damage over time, debuffs and everything. I don't know exactly what the gimmicks and stuff for this fight are just yet, but some of the stuff that he does is actually really cool. You can see some of his attack animations and everything. I don't think it's during this turn. Oh, he emotes at you. I didn't even notice that. That's so funny. I think he actually looks really interesting and fun. His ultimate animation was awesome because he... oh, did I skip it right there? I think I did. He actually like calls in the bird to attack, which I think was hilarious. Like he calls the bird in to attack you with his ultimate. So I think that whole idea is that he like sort of controls other creatures as part of his like gimmick. But they didn't even beat phase 1 on this fight for whatever reason. They didn't play through the whole thing, and it took them several turns to even get where they were, and he has not basically taken any damage at all. So Not sure how that's going to work out for us, but there is a new demonic beast. They are giving there's two new relics that are coming out with this update. Hawk and Oslo is going to be a bird relic. It increases allies' HP by 15%, so nothing crazy there. And then Mael is the first relic for Ratatoskr, which is kind of interesting. You can see it right here. Mael is when goddess race allies use single target skills, increases Mael's damage dealt by 20%, max of 60%. If the goddess race allies use AoE skills, increases the unit's attack-related stats by 10%, max of 30%. So I think that's much needed. Mael is honestly a pretty old unit at this point. He's definitely like one of the weakest links on the goddess team in general, so he could use the boost. I'm completely fine with him getting the relic. It could potentially help you out in Nidhogg as well, but I would imagine if you can beat Ratatoskr enough to get this relic, you're probably not struggling on Nidhogg, if I had to guess. But there is a new card set. We do have, obviously, costumes and stuff like that for Gowther. They're giving out, I think, 4 free multis worth of tickets for his banner, along with some gems and stuff like that. The gems aren't like overwhelmingly crazy. I think it's roughly like 400-ish gems in total through the entire event. I think this login event itself is only 150, so I mean, there's a decent amount of gems to get here. It's not like it's going to cover the entire rotation for you or anything, so you're already going to have some gems on your account if you want to guarantee a copy of this guy, which, like I said, he doesn't seem OP crazy busted or anything just yet, so you can probably get away with skipping this guy if you're not running the Sins team, which I think is a plus. We are getting a couple of events and stuff. Final Boss Hawk is coming back. Other than that, we are getting a Gelda costume and the Hawk Pass for this one. I wanted to see what some of these things were, but for some reason the page will not translate on this one. But banner looks okay. It's not great, I'll be honest. There's not like that much value here. Let's look at the PvP a little bit, and then we will kind of call this a day. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on this guy, because I do think that he looks pretty cool. Like his design and everything, I think is pretty nice. Honestly, I think I like that the most. The fact that he's a Sins character, buffing Sins, is kind of odd, kind of interesting. I was maybe hoping for Sins and Unknowns at the very least, but the fact that he's only Sins kind of makes it to where he's a little bit more skippable in general. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably low on gems after Arthur, and then surprise Gelda in the middle of the festival for whatever reason. I don't necessarily think that Gowther is countering Arthur any more than Gelda did, so that's good. I think that ideally this will create a meta rotation where Gowther will help counter Gelda, Gelda will help counter Arthur, and then Arthur will help counter Gowther. So there's like a decent rotation. You'll be able to use 3 different teams, demons, humans, and Sins. Hopefully it'll be a healthy meta. I don't really know. We'll have to see how the players sort of react and what teams they come up with as the character comes out and hits the meta and everything like that. But during this gameplay, I mean, it doesn't really seem like Gelda really does all that much. Then again, it takes a couple of turns for Gelda to sort of like get maxed out anyway. I think the most impressive part of the PvP is like the fact that the first turn he ranks up Bond's cards. And because of the extra pierce that they get, or the extra pierce and crit resistance ignore that he gets from this, he's able to one-shot melee turn 1, which is really impressive considering melee can be kind of hard to kill, which obviously melee doesn't have any of his like dark orbs or anything yet, giving him defense related or anything. So, I mean, he'll be able to tank it depending on, you know, who goes first and stuff like that, how many, you know, debuffs you get. We'll just have to kind of wait and see how the unit sort of progresses, what people come up with team-wise for him, but overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I was thinking the worst. I was thinking, hey, this is going to be a must-summon character that nobody has gems for, and it's going to be a really bad time. But in all reality, I think he is 100% skippable. I don't think he's a must-have character. I think that he's going to be a luxury unit that's going to be nice to have, and the banner might have some seasonal characters that you want, but there could be bigger and better things coming. You never really know what's going to happen, but JP Anniversary is still going to end up being at the end of May, early June for us. So that's probably going to be a really big banner, on top of the fact that there still could potentially be a collab slot. I don't know on that for sure. They did do a collab in January, which they normally don't do. It's normally in April, so maybe they just moved that time slot. I don't know exactly. We still do maybe have a collab coming, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on the guy. If you're interested, if you're summoning, if you're skipping, let me know. I'm interested because I think he looks good, but I don't think that everybody's going to want him. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you were in the live stream and everything, I appreciate you guys stopping by. We had a really good time. If you want to be in the next live stream whenever we do it, feel free to subscribe. If you're around, obviously some of you guys aren't around because it's really early in the morning in the US. So, you know, some of you guys probably have stuff to do, but I appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out. You know, thanks for watching, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys later.